Hey everyone, welcome back. Ready to dive into something kind of mind-blowing. Today, we're going to be tackling AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. And we're looking at a researcher, Daniel Olsher, who's claiming he's actually cracked the code, like created the first real AGI right now. So yeah, we're going to explore all that and see if it holds up. But first, let's make sure we're all on the same page about what AGI even means, because it's not just like your phone recommending a song or a self-driving car, right? This isn't just AI being a little better at stuff. AGI, that's a whole other ballgame. It's like, imagine a machine that can solve problems, learn anything, just like a person. A machine that could, I don't know, maybe even think for itself in ways we don't get. I mean, we could be talking revolutionizing everything, right? Solving climate change, curing diseases, the whole nine yards. But, and this is a big but, what if these super smart machines decide they don't need us? So yeah, no wonder tons of experts are like, is AGI even possible, let alone safe? Which brings us to Daniel Olsher. Now, this guy, he's got a serious track record, not just some random tech dude. We're talking Carnegie Mellon, Department of Defense, intelligence community, even worked with DARPA and IARPA. So he's been around the block. And Olsher, he doesn't hold back, let me tell you. In his paper, he just comes right out and says, we have created the first ever artificial general intelligence, AGI, and first superintelligence. He's not messing around. He's saying he's not just built a smart AI, he's built one that's smarter than us. Now, just so you know, he hasn't, revealed all the technical stuff about how it works. Not yet, anyway. But he does give us this, checklist for spotting real AGI. He calls it the Olsher test. I kind of like a 21st century Turing test, A way to tell if a machine is actually thinking or just faking it really well. And one of the big things for Olsher is this idea of causality. He says a real AGI, it can't just see patterns in data like a lot of AI does now. It has to get the why, the cause and effect, the stuff that makes things happen in the real world.
It's really interesting because he's going against the grain here. For decades, AI development has been all about statistical analysis, finding patterns in these massive data sets, right? But Olsher is saying that approach is powerful, sure, but it'll only get you so far. It can't actually create true intelligence. He's saying to get true AGI, we need systems that don't just process stuff, but actually get it. Like understanding at a much deeper level, figuring out the cause and effect, the how and the why of how the world works.
Yeah, it's like knowing the sun rises in the east. Okay, everyone knows that. But actually understanding the whole dance of the earth and the sun, why it happens, that's a whole other thing. That's the difference. And that takes us to another big part of this Olsher test. A real AGI, it can't just rely on shortcuts or pre-programmed knowledge.
Right. It has to learn and adapt on its own. Yeah. Build up its understanding from scratch, basically.
Exactly.
Think about those chatbot things, right? They're trained on, mountains of text and code. So they sound superhuman, right? But you ask them something they weren't pre-programmed with, they're toast. Might even try to BS their way through it.
Yeah, like you said, just relying on patterns.
Exactly.
So it's not enough to just drown it in data, even if it's a ton of data. Ultra's talking about something way different, like a totally new way of looking at how we build these things. Which brings us to, honestly, probably the most interesting part of his work. It might sound a little out there. He calls it, get this, atoms of information.
Atoms.
Yeah, atoms. He says these atoms are like the building blocks of his AGI, a totally different way of thinking about knowledge.
Okay, so not like atoms, right?
No, not like chemistry class, but stick with me. It'll make sense.
All right, go on.
So think of an atom as a tiny piece of knowledge, right? And each one of these atoms in Olsher's system, it holds a concept. But not just the concept, also how it connects to other concepts.
So it's like a web.
Exactly. A huge web of knowledge, all linked together. So instead of just, data points or whatever, these atoms, they link up. And they show you how the world actually works, the cause and effect.
I think I see where you're going with this. So give me an example then. How does this atom thing actually play out?
Okay, sure. Let's say you have an atom for gravity. It's not just the definition of gravity, it's also linked to other atoms like mass, force, acceleration. Even Einstein's theories, the whole shebang.
Well, okay, so it gets pretty complex.
Oh, yeah.
And that lets the AGI, understand gravity way more deeply than our AI now. Not just what it asks, but how it works with other stuff.
Exactly. It's like the difference between reading a physics textbook and, I don't know, flying through space.
That's actually a really good analogy.
Right. One gives you the rules, the other lets you experience them. And because these atoms, they're all linked up.
It means even small things could have big consequences, right?
Exactly. How does this AGI make choices? How does it see the future? It's wild. But okay, remember how we said Olsher's keeping some of the technical stuff under wraps for now?
Yeah, the how it all works part.
Right. Well, he says these atoms, they're actually super transparent. Like we can track every single thought the AGI has.
But what? And this is a big but. He hasn't said how they work.
Right. And that's where other AI researchers are like, hold on a minute.
Yeah, claiming a breakthrough is one thing. Showing everyone how you did it so they can try it too, that's how it actually gets confirmed.
Exactly. It's like he's inviting us to this amazing new world, but doesn't have a map yet. So we're excited, but also like, are we sure about this?
So the million-dollar question, right? Is this thing the real deal?
Yeah. And I'll be honest, a lot of folks in AI are going to want to see the receipts on this one. It's a huge claim, right? And with huge claims, you need, well, huge proof.
Exactly.
And that's where everyone's kind of hung up on those missing technical details.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like until Olsher shows everyone how these atoms actually work, how they do their thing, it's going to be hard to get everyone on board, you know?
It's like, imagine saying you found a new law of physics, but you're not showing anyone the math behind it.
Right. People are going to be skeptical.
Yeah.
For sure. But okay, let's say just for a second that he's right, that he actually did it.
Okay, I'm game. Let's play that out.
What could we even do with an AI that understands cause and effect like we do? Or, maybe even better than we do?
Oh, man, that's a whole other can of worms. But if we're talking potential, imagine what that could do for science, medicine, even economics.
Yeah, like actually predicting how things will play out, not just guessing.
Exactly. Modeling complex systems like, I don't know, climate change, the whole global economy even, with way more accuracy than we can even dream of now.
That could change, well, everything. But there's got to be a downside, right?
Oh, absolutely. Two sides to every coin.
What if this tech gets used for, not so good stuff?
Right. It's not like we've figured out all the ethical stuff with the AI we have now.
Yeah. Bias, autonomous weapons, all that. This could make those problems even worse.
Sure, the stakes just got higher.
Way higher. It's a lot to take in, and honestly, we're just scratching the surface here. Olsher's research, it's like a peek into the future. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of equal parts excited and terrified.
Totally. But hey, that's the thing about this field, right? It's constantly moving. And that's where you all come in. You've heard the claims, the potential, the risks, the whole 9 yards.
Now it's your turn to dive in. Go check out Olsher's research. It's linked in the show notes. And start forming your own opinions, because this stuff, it's going to affect all of us.
Exactly. Don't just take our word for it. Read it, think about it, talk about it.
This is a conversation we all need to be a part of. So until next time, keep those brains buzzing. And we'll catch you in the next deep dive.